Welcome to Zion National Park. We are Southwest Adventure Tours and Red Rock Shuttle, your one-stop solution for getting in and out of Zion Canyon without the hassle of finding a parking space or riding the big buses. We partner with Zion Outfitter, who will provide you with all the right gear as well as the right information to go on those iconic hikes in Zion. Our Red Rock Shuttle vans will pick you up outside of Zion Outfitter and take you to a number of stops inside Zion Canyon. Our vans are like a hop-on, hop-off service, just like those found in many other popular tourist destinations. We service all of these stops every 30 minutes or less. While rolling into the canyon, our drivers will tell you all about what you're seeing. Continue watching this video, and I'll show you what there is to see and do at each of the stops we make. Plus, I'll take you on a virtual ride up Zion Canyon and explain the scenic sights along the way. The video you're watching is a service we'd like to provide you and to help you see all the options available in Zion Canyon. That way you can choose what looks best to you in the amount of time you have. There's only so many hours of daylight in a day, and we'd like to see you get the most of it. Expand your experience of Zion by taking a private tour through Southwest Adventure Tours. We will take you on a fully narrated tour of any place inside Zion, as well as many other spectacular places in the area. You can see all of the iconic, well-known destinations, or choose to see some of the lesser visited places. We can do it all. Before you begin your trip into Zion, there are a few things I'd like to explain first, such as how to find us, parking, the various fees associated with visiting Zion, and what it's like to ride with us. Our vans leave from the front doorsteps of Zion Outfitter, which is located in Zion Canyon Village. The village is just off of Highway 9 at the north end of the town of Springdale, just before the main entrance into Zion National Park. Before boarding our vans and starting your adventure in Zion, you'll need to take care of some business first. First of all, you'll need to park your car. There are a few ways to do this. The best option is to park inside the national park, next to the visitor center. This means that you'll have to pay the park entrance fee at this time, but once in, the parking is free. I'll talk more about park fees in a moment. Just know that this parking lot fills up fast on busy days, so arrive early if you would like to score one of those coveted parking spots. The other option is to either use the parking lot at Zion Canyon Village or park somewhere along Highway 9 in the town of Springdale. These parking spots are not free. You'll need to use the pay stations, like the one you see here. Fees are about $20 for all day, and don't forget to place your pay stub in a visible area of your windshield. Now that you've found a place to park, let's discuss the cost of entering the national park itself. The Park Service breaks it down into two categories, either an entrance fee or a pass. An entrance fee gets you into the park, is valid for 7 days, and includes everyone in your group or vehicle. As of 2020, this fee is $35. A pass gets you into all national parks across the United States. There are different types of passes, including an annual pass, a lifetime pass that applies to anyone 62 years old or older, a pass for U.S. citizens that have served in our military, and one for students who are in the 4th grade. Check with the National Park Service website for details about the different types of passes and their cost. Or ask about them at the entrance gate or walk-in entrance behind Zion Canyon Village. You can purchase any of these passes at either park entrance. And don't worry if you haven't paid your fee or bought a pass before you get into our van. You can take care of that as the van goes through the park's main entrance gate. Just keep in mind that it must be paid for with a credit card. If you have already paid your entrance fee or have a pass, Make sure to have the receipt or pass with you before getting into the van. You will need to show it to the ranger at the gate. Lastly, there's the cost of our shuttle van service. When you purchase a ticket for our vans, it's good for all day. You can hop on and off our vans at various places inside Zion Canyon as many times as you want. To purchase a ticket for our shuttle vans, look for the kiosk located next to Zion Outfitter. The attendant there will issue a shuttle pass that is for your entire group. Be sure to keep that pass with you all day, along with a park entrance fee receipt or pass that was used to enter the park. If you are part of a large group, make sure that one person holds on to both the park entrance receipt or pass and the pass to ride our vans. Then be careful not to split up your group. If one part of the group has the van pass and the other does not, then some people won't be able to ride the van or get back into the park. All right, you've got your entrance fee covered. You have a ticket to ride, and you just stepped onto one of our vans to take a seat. Let's get started with our ride up Zion Canyon. We'll exit the parking area of Zion Canyon Village and drive the short distance to the park's front entrance. Hopefully the line won't be too long. Soon, the driver will talk to the ranger to make sure everyone has either paid their entrance fee or has a pass. Just after the entrance gate, the road leading to the right goes to the visitor center. Our vans don't go there, but you can drive your own car there or walk to it from the village. Don't miss seeing the visitor center. We pass by the South Campground, which is closed in the winter. The park has two campgrounds. The other one, called the Watchman Campground, is located on the other side of the visitor center. Reservations are required. We're currently traveling on Highway 9, which stretches from I-15 in the west to US 89 to the east. This left turn goes to Zion's Human History Museum, which previously was the visitor center from 1968 to 2000. Because of COVID, however, it is currently closed and we don't stop here. As we pass, there's a great view of what's known as the Towers of the Virgin, including West Temple on the left and the Altar of Sacrifice on the right. West Temple, by the way, is one of the tallest points in Zion at just under 8,000 feet. It can be seen 30 to 40 miles away in various directions, such as when you come up from Las Vegas or from Cedar Breaks National Monument. Since we're heading up the beginning of Zion Canyon, you might like to know a little about its beginnings. The first inhabitants here were Native Americans. Starting around AD 1250, these people were the Paiute. In the late 1850s, Mormon pioneers began settling this area, including Zion Canyon. By 1900, it was recognized that Zion Canyon is a place of extreme beauty and should be protected. In 1909, President Taft signed the order to preserve this area, which was originally named Makuntaweep National Monument. In the Paiute language, Makuntaweep means stand up tall or stand up straight canyon. It was named by famed Southwest explorer John Wesley Powell, who was the first person to navigate the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon and was responsible for naming many things in this area, including West Temple. As more people visited the new national monument, they began to realize just how very special this place is. In 1918, the newly created National Park Service drafted a proposal to designate it as a national park, which the U.S. Congress approved in 1919. In an effort to find an easier name to pronounce than Makuntaweep, inquiries were made to find out what local people called the canyon. It was a Mormon pioneer who first referred to this canyon as Zion. It is a Hebrew word that was later interpreted by Mormons to mean a place of safety and refuge. So, in 1919, it became Zion National Park. The park became increasingly popular to visit as highways, such as the one you're traveling on now, were built leading to the park in the 1920s. After crossing the bridge, we'll turn left onto Zion Canyon Scenic Drive. If we continued on Highway 9, it will make a steep ascent up the cliffs ahead and head east. If you have time during your visit, be sure to drive Highway 9 to the east entrance of the park. Here you'll pass through a historic tunnel and, on the other side of the tunnel, see a spectacular landscape of swirling, colorful sandstone, which is very different than what you'll see here in the canyon. During the peak visiting season, only authorized vehicles, such as the big buses and our vans, can travel on the road we just turned onto. Here is where we open the gate and continue our trip up the canyon. We now start to climb a bit of a hill. There's a reason this hill is here. On the left is what's called the Sentinel Slide. This was a huge landslide that, according to geologists, occurred about 8,000 years ago. It happened when a large sandstone monolith, such as the ones you see high above, collapsed and filled up the whole canyon here, causing the water of the Virgin River to be dammed up. This formed a rather large lake behind the landslide that filled most of Zion Canyon. This lake lasted for about 100 to 200 years until the Virgin River finally eroded through the landslide and drained the lake. You'll notice that after we finish climbing the hill, the rest of our trip will be on relatively flat ground. That's because when silty sediment from further up the Virgin River drained into the lake, it sank to the bottom and formed a flat surface. Halfway through the landslide, we pass by this more recent landslide. It occurred in 1995 and stranded several hundred people in the canyon for a few days. They were able to leave after a temporary road was bulldozed through the debris. We reach the top of the hill and, lo and behold, the road and valley beyond is flat. On our left is the Court of the Patriarchs, one of several iconic landmarks in Zion. Our vans don't stop here, but if you take our private day tour of Zion, you can choose to stop here and we'll show you around. Here you can hike up to an overlook of the 3 gigantic sandstone monoliths. Or you can walk towards the monoliths, past the horse stables, then walk over this picturesque bridge spanning the Virgin River for another great view. It was a painting of these Court of the Patriarchs done by Frederick Dellenbaugh and displayed at the St. Louis World's Fair that stimulated interest in Zion. People just couldn't believe that such stunningly beautiful scenery really existed. Continuing across the bridge will take you to the Sand Bench Trail. This trail climbs to the left and offers more views of this part of the canyon. Between here and the next stop, keep your eyes open for animals just beyond or crossing the road. These animals are typically mule deer and wild turkey. We are now approaching Zion Lodge. It was built in 1925. During those times, Zion Lodge was the only place to stay within many miles of here. Now, as you know, there are many hotels around Zion. You're probably wondering, why do those people get to drive their cars up here? Well, if you have reservations at the lodge, you can drive your own car up here. Getting a reservation here isn't easy. If you want to stay here in September of next year, you will need to call and make your reservation on the 1st of September this year. Rooms range between $250 and $350 per night. Our first stop is at Zion Lodge. Here you can visit the lodge's gift shop and dining area where they serve hot and cold drinks and food. It's a nice place to rest after your hike. One of the trails to Emerald Pools starts here. With its views of high cliffs, pools, and waterfalls, this is one of the best introductory hikes that shows what Zion is all about. Start the hike by taking the crosswalk that crosses the main road. Then head over this bridge that crosses the river. In my opinion, the best way to hike Emerald Pools is by turning right after crossing the bridge. The trail follows the river and turns left into a large box canyon surrounded by towering cliffs on all sides. The trail then descends as you walk under a waterfall that spills over from a rock ledge above. Soon you'll be walking on top of this same ledge. After passing under the waterfalls, the trail climbs up a series of steps, passes through a big split rock, and comes to a junction. Turning right goes onto the Kayenta Trail and heads to our next shuttle stop called the Grotto. Turning left will continue the loop hike through Emerald Pools. The trail passes by pools of the trail's namesake, offering reflections of the cliffs above. Then it turns a corner with great views of the canyon and the lodge below. The trail then descends steeply and returns to the bridge you started on. If you follow the route I just described, this hike is about 2 miles long with a slight elevation gain and is often in the shade. Best lighting is in the morning. Make sure you hike it with sturdy shoes and, like all other hikes, take some water with you to drink along the way. As mentioned, our next stop is called the Grotto. This used to be the name of a campground here, but it was removed decades ago. Now it is the starting point of 2 hikes, the Kayenta Trail that goes back to Emerald Pools and one of the park's most popular hikes, Angel's Landing. Our vans stop in this dirt lot that is located near many picnic tables. It's a great place to stop for lunch, and there are restrooms located close by. The sandstone house here, which is now the artist-in-residence home, was actually the original visitor center that was open from 1933 until 1968. To start either hike, walk this route. Cross the street. Then across this bridge over the Virgin River. Stay on the same trail that turns right to reach Angel's Landing, or turn left at the steps for the Kayenta Trail. Angel's Landing is a 4 to 5 mile round-trip hike with a 1,500-foot elevation gain. This hike is notorious for its chains section, which is the last half mile of the hike that takes hikers all the way to the top. Be very careful with the dangerous drop-offs on this hike. You must take responsibility for your own safety. Using the chains to climb to the top can be risky, but climbing it to just scout lookout is a rewarding experience. The rewards of hiking Angel's Landing is the spectacular views of the canyon below and the sandstone cliffs above. The trail also passes through scenic Refrigerator Canyon, then climbs up a series of 21 switchbacks called Walter's Wiggles. Scout Lookout is reached at the end of Walter's Wiggles. Turning right leads to the chains. Turning left leads to the West Rim Trail, which is a great alternative if you feel uneasy with hanging onto the chains to climb the last portion of Angel's Landing. After the Grotto, we pass by the Weeping Rock Trailhead, which is a stop that is currently closed. Back in 2019, a rockfall occurred on Cable Mountain above and buried all the trails here in sand. You're watching a video that someone took of the rockfall occurring while they were on top of Angel's Landing. Fortunately, nobody was killed and, amazingly, only 3 people were injured. Next is Big Bend. Currently, we don't stop here. There are no trails to take here, but it does give you a great view of several things. For one, you are up against the backside of Angel's Landing. If you look closely, you might see people on top. One thing you might be lucky to see is a soaring California condor. These are the biggest birds in North America with a 9.5-foot wingspan. In the 1980s, these condors were almost extinct. In 1982, the last remaining 22 condors were caught and put into captivity. A breeding program was started, and today there are just over 600 condors. But this place here at Big Bend is very special. Just below Scouts Lookout on Angel's Landing, a pair of condors built a nest here and laid an egg. It hatched, and this chick is the very first one hatched outside of captivity since 1982. Pretty cool, huh? Another cool thing to see here is what's called Moonlight Buttress. This unique column of sandstone is well known in the rock climbing community. If you're lucky, you may spot climbers in this area on the cliffs above. You may have heard of Alex Honnold, the famous free solo rock climber made famous in the movie Free Solo. He climbed this spot in 83 minutes. Pretty crazy, huh? We can stop here if you take our day tour of Zion. If we stop here, we can look for any rock climbers that are out trying to break Alex's record, or if the Condor family is out flying around. As we continue down the road, you'll notice the canyon is becoming narrower. Soon, we'll be at the end of the road. That can only mean one thing. We are almost at our final stop, the Temple of Senawava. This is the beginning of both the Riverside Walk and the popular Narrows Hike. Both start just to the right of where the road ends, and there are spacious restrooms located next to the trailhead. When people ask about easy hikes in Zion, we recommend the Riverside Walk. Because it's near the more difficult Narrows Hike, many people think that it, too, is difficult, but it isn't. It's really a flat, easy, and pleasant walk alongside the Virgin River. The Riverside Walk's paved surface makes it a great trail for people with strollers and wheelchairs to enjoy. It's about 1 mile long, making it a 2-mile round trip. Taking this trail will bring you up close to the soaring cliffs and the hanging gardens that the Narrows is known for. You'll see water dripping from the vertical sandstone walls above, and at the end of the trail, you can watch the people as they begin their hike into the Narrows. For those that enjoy more of an adventure and would like an experience like none other, then a hike into the Narrows is a must. The extra effort it takes to hike the additional 2 to 3 miles into the Zion Canyon Narrows is an incredibly special and memorable experience. Some people say it is the hike of a lifetime. Hiking the Narrows can be done any time of year, but the busiest time is in the warm summer months. Hiking with the crowds of summer is a different experience than hiking in the quiet of winter. But whenever you choose to go, we will get you set up with all the right gear to take on the Narrows and be as comfortable as possible. These people are hiking in late fall. Notice that they are all dressed up for the cold and are walking in the river. We work with the folks at Zion Outfitter to get you all geared up to experience the Narrows. Gear includes special boots, neoprene socks, which are like a wetsuit, dry pants, also known as waders, and walking sticks. Here's what getting geared up looks like. First, you remove your shoes. Then roll up your pants a little bit, as you can see here. Next, put on the rubber dry pants. There's a tight-fitting gasket on the bottom end, so carefully fit that over your ankle. This will prevent water from getting in and keep your pants dry. Make the gasket flush with your skin just above the ankle. Repeat the same thing with your other leg. Next, put on the neoprene socks. Pull them up just over the gasket. Lastly, put on the boots just as if they are normal hiking boots. After tying the laces, make sure to wrap this strap around the knot so that the boots don't come untied when you're walking in the water. All right, we're ready to go. When you step into the water, it is normal for the boots to leak a little and you'll feel water, but the neoprene socks will warm your feet right up. Once you're in the water and on your way, hiking up the Narrows is a magical experience. You'll want to start your hike between 9 and 11 a.m. for optimal lighting. Depending on how far you want to go, the hike can take between 3 to 6 hours round trip. After walking up the river for 2 miles from the end of the Riverside Walk, you'll reach what's called Wall Street. This is the most beautiful part of the canyon, and you'll know you've reached the 2-mile mark when you see this side canyon, which is the only canyon that you can walk up. This is Orderville Canyon. Wall Street extends onward for another mile past this point. For most of the hike, you'll be walking on rounded boulders just under the water. It takes some getting used to, so start out slow and you'll soon get the hang of it. Using the walking sticks that are provided really helps out. Thanks for going on the tour up Zion Canyon with us and learning about the places our vans will stop at. If you'd like to start your own personal adventure into Zion Canyon, come over and look us up at Zion Canyon Village, located near the Parks Visitor Center, and we'll help you see all these wonderful places with your own eyes.